Okay, so this is the new 1725S. I've literally just come off the water using it in a whole host of different disciplines. I've used it once before, and I think the biggest takeaway for me is that it's really versatile for a foil this size. What I mean by that is that you can still turn it, you can still have control, and I think I've found I struggled with that on other foils of a similar size. So this helps with paddle ups. You can micro adjust your feet, which really helps. For winging, it means you can turn, you can tack, you can jibe and still be in control. And I think that is one of the most important parts of having a big foil. Yeah, look, absolutely for beginners, but it doesn't just stop there, because I had a load of fun. As you just saw, I can paddle it up. We were just talking about now I can use a smaller board like this for bay runs. It opens up a new element of the sport. So I think it doesn't just sit in the beginner stage. Yeah, I think absolute advanced riders might outgrow it pretty quickly, but there's still scope for it for light wind, for example. If you live in a lake where the wind's not particularly strong, for example, that would be a great opportunity to use it. So I wouldn't pigeonhole it into beginners, that's for sure, but I particularly love the S series because they're so forgiving. And this is true from like the smaller sizes. Like my favorite foil of all time is the 850. But this still has the same DNA of this maneuverability, controllability and user friendliness. And I think that's so important in a foil in all skill levels, from like absolute beginners, obviously, because you're going to be making mistakes all the time. It just means less time in the water, less falls, and you're going to progress faster. But for people that are advanced, again, it means that you can try new things. You can, your turns can be faster, harder. So I think that having a foil like this, which is much more user-friendly than a high aspect R series, for example. I think they're just more versatile. Don't get me wrong, there's always a place for an R, and for me that sits in pumping for long distances or in ocean open swells when you're downwinding. That's when I really enjoy the Rs, but everything else I love the S's. They're really good, they're versatile. They're gonna get you out on the water and they're gonna keep you up on foil for longer. You know what, we just did a really good comparison because I was on the 1250 R and then jumped onto this, and it was a really nice comparison of how well this turns in comparison to something that's really spanny. Again, it just helps you sort of develop, progress without having this sort of awkwardness of a big spanny foil. So yeah, I think the key to it is don't be put off by the numbers. On paper, it seems like quite a big foil, but actually when you're able to control a foil like that, it doesn't feel so big. And it certainly doesn't feel like a 1725, that is for sure. If you covered up those numbers, in my mind, I'd say it felt like something like a 1400. I've certainly been on much smaller foils than this and felt well overfoiled and out of control. And basically I was going along for the ride, and I don't feel that with a foil like this. As I said, control, I think, is the key word to the S series. So I think in summary, definitely don't pigeonhole this into the beginner category. Don't be put off by the figures. It doesn't feel as big as it says on the side. It's really user-friendly, it's controllable, and it just allows you to get out in conditions that otherwise you just wouldn't be able to. I mean, look at the lack of wind we've got here. I've just had a great session, both supping on the foil, pumping around, winging, and I reckon I could power wing in this as well, no problems.